With the swab, yeah.
What, I'm stupid.
You're good, you got it. Yay! Okay, so what you're gonna do is so you have that in one hand. With your other hand, you're gonna rotate it with your index finger.
This one?
So on the top there. And then you are going to press that against the edge as you rotate it to clean.
This is right here?
Yep. And then you're gonna go, you're gonna do one cycle and then move up. Yep. And maybe go back down again, just for good measure. Awesome. And then we're gonna go through the other ones too.
I don't know why you guys are volunteer. This is fun.
Don't worry, there'll be more time for volunteering. I won't let anyone off the hook.
Yeah. Sounds
Awesome. And then if you need more alcohol, you can use it.
So do we even do the top?
No, because that's a good question. It's just the edges because that's where the film will go. And then, okay, so I'm gonna have you do these two only because this one is motorized and stays in place. So you can go ahead and do these, and then when we open up the software, we can clean the last one because you have to advance the roller in the software in order to clean that particular one. Since it's motorized. And by the way, these little blue friends are called particle transfer rollers. And yeah, I feel like I'm missing something about the PTRs. They're fun, they're rubberized, they hold the film in place.
Do you want to take the gate out? We can clean that.
Yes.
So we have 3 different gates. 4 8 Super 8, 1 for 16, and then 1 for 35. So that just essentially is what the film, it guides the film through, keeps it stable.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to clean every part that the film is going to touch.
Dry swab now. And you're going to brush it along that path. So this is referred to as the film gate path, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's where the film will pass through during the scan. And for this, you're going to use just a clean swab.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little note, you can also use K-Wicks for those too, for the dry ones, especially because those ones are more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So those are definitely better for IC propyl, but we have K-Wipes that are just in that little bin right there. Those are this little, dust-free wipes.
Thank you. And then that's it. I'm going to have you slot this back down the middle like that. And then screw both screws clockwise. Okay, awesome job. And then there are a couple other places that we're going to clean. So we're going to remove the lens cap here. And you can either use a dry swab, which I think might be a little bit better for this, or a clean microfiber cloth to gently clean the lens. And for the lens, you want to be using a dry swab. So this is just to make sure there's no dust in the lens itself, and you can just do soft circular motions, and that should be good to go. And then other cleaning wise, we have that roller to do. And then when we open up the software, there's a way to actually focus on this light box here. So in a similar way as there being a light box on the inspection bench, there's a light box in here too. And that will allow you to actually see if there's any dust or debris that is potentially going to feature in the scan. And we will show you how to see if there is dust or debris. That way you can clean it before the scan takes place. Double clicked on this Kinetta icon here, which is the red icon that looks like the machine. I said yes, it's okay to let the program make changes to the machine. And then this load previous calibration, you can press OK. Sid, if you would be so kind as to do the same thing for this one, and I'm going to press this triangle here, the advanced triangle.
Okay.
Yep, so you can hold that against the side.
Highly satisfying.
Right? Awesome. Okay, awesome. And then in order to focus on the light box, as I was talking about earlier, to check for the debris, we're going to press light. And then that will basically add light to the light box. We're going to press preview on. So that will allow us to focus on the back. And in order to do that, we're actually not going to change this, right? We're going to change it by doing this, this knob in the back here, and that will essentially move the camera closer to the screen. Also, I think am I askew of the light box too? I might be like, should probably be like over, right?
I think it's the calibration.
Oh, it's the
Because it does
calibration.
that with the light when it's, yeah,
Mhm.
that's my guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So what Blaze is doing right now is moving the camera up and down. And that, you can see that black part is the gate. And I see a little, a little particulate there.
Okay, so by looking at that particulate, we can use this little focus in the back. So this is this knob here is adjusting the position of the camera, whereas this knob in the back is adjusting the focus. So I'm using that as my reference point for the focus, and then I'm going to use a dry swab to kind of clean that away. Hopefully.
If you want to grab like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then what we're going to do is on the cord, you see this. There's like a notch right here, and this notch is going to correspond to this
Mhm.
notch on the Kinetta. So if you want to line those two up, yeah, support as you need. And then there's arrows on the machine here, so you're just going to follow the arrows, and I'm going to get another core.
And we can actually take this
So you need an empty core on the other side.
so it doesn't get in the way.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I noticed that, you could orient the
Yes.
film two separate ways.
You can give yourself more slack.
So
This one.
I'm just curious why you're orienting it in that way instead of having it come from the outer end.
So
Yeah.
we want basically the orientation of the film to be emulsion out, as in like facing the lens of the camera. So that dictates how we wind it on. So what you're going to do here, you see how that goes in? So you're going to mirror that. So you're going to come in.
This way?
Yes.
Okay.
And here, I usually tape it onto the core.
Okay.
Oh, do you want to use this too?
Sure. That's a little long. You can get a smaller piece. But
You
it's
got
the
another
same like
piece.
paper tape. So. Nice. So beautiful. One thing I will note, the film, you want it to track along the bottom here, so you can just release it and just kind of slide it down, just to make the path as easy as possible for the machine, because it is temperamental. So, and here, I don't know if you can see here how it's like out here. So we want to make sure it's like lined up in the film gate, basically. So I'm gonna just wind through a little bit. We want to have some amount of film on both sides. So I'm just gonna, and why I'm giving it tension over here is just because this roller doesn't move when it's like not, when the machine's not turned on because it's motorized. So if you just try to pull it without that slack, it's gonna put a lot of strain on the film. So that's good. So now we have the film on the Kinetta. Beautiful.
Oh, and I'm gonna have Ava check one thing too,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is if you go to the film gate and you look at those little ping pong paddles, do you see those like silver paddles?
Yes.
You can flick those up to make sure that it's on the top of the film. Do you see what I mean? And you can kind of just go like that.
Oh, yeah, oh,
Beautiful.
okay.
So that
Cool.
clamps them down.
One thing I will note, so you can load the Kinetta, if you guys, I don't know if you can see, but how the film on both sides is going in, you can load it going the other way too, just depends on the film. But one thing before we hit load on here that we have to really make sure of is that these arrows on the screen match the orientation that we have the film on here. So see how these arrows are going out this way? That means that when we try and load it, the film's gonna kind of go crazy and it's not gonna be good. So in order to change that, these buttons on the Kinetta, you flip both of them and then the orientation is matching. So that, yeah.
And I have a note about that too, which is I made a mistake recently and I thought like, oh, the arrows are the way the film is heading. And that's not necessarily true. It's the way they're wrapping around the cores. So this is technically wrapping this way, whereas this is wrapping that way. Does that kind of make sense? Okay. And those arrows are, again, visible in the top section that says tension control.
Yeah.
And we're using these buttons here, which are called the tandem switches, to make sure that those tension controls are set properly when we apply tension to the film.
And one thing I'm noticing already, the tension on here is super high. It's in it's 1 to 2000, which is not correct, and this happens sometimes. The tension is basically calculated by the tension on the, what do they call it, the rubber rollers?
The PTRs.
So
Vertical
that
transfer
doesn't
rollers.
look right. So the easiest thing, and the thing I do all the time, is just exit and reopen. And I have to do this multiple times every time I scan because it's, fickle. So now we can see the numbers. It's like 0 to negative numbers. That's what you want the tension to be before you load it. It's just, sometimes it just does not communicate well with itself. So just keep an eye on things like that. Or sometimes the image just like doesn't work. If you exit out and reopen it, 90% of the time that will solve the problem. So you can see how it moved, it's tightening, and now the tension, the numbers are in the 700s and 800s. So that's what you're looking for. It'll shift slightly, but basically that means it's now at the correct tension for scanning and so we can like focus it properly. You can click the 35 millimeter and it'll be like a drop down. And you can hit, we're doing 16, so you can hit 16. So that's all set. Then go ahead.
And then, Leilani, if you want to go down to the calibration section and press preview, the preview off button to be preview on. Okay.
And you can hit light under light source at the bottom there, and that just gives you some light.
So
You can see what you're looking at.
we're gonna advance a little bit. So if you want to hit that green button there. And then maybe stop there. So there are a couple helpful features about the software, one of them being those little arrows at the top. So Leilani was just using one of the bigger arrows, but they're what's called inching knobs, which are those little arrows, and those allow you to those cute ones allow you to center it in the frame.
And that goes frame by frame as opposed to the other button.
Mhm.
Right now we have the film speed, it's going at 12 frames per second, which is what we generally scan at.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, if you click the button down here, it's gonna go at this speed, whatever you have it set for. The buttons up here, it's 1 frame at a time.
Mm-hmm. So you can go ahead and inch those. Okay, so why don't we bring up the light a little bit, which is that cyan. The cyan bar, you can lift that up. Okay, great. So that's a lot more visible. And we can see that clearly it's a little out of focus because we're looking at something that looks like a cross, but it's pretty blurry. So we are gonna go to our focus knob, which is in the back here, and adjust until we have a clear, sharp image. And you want to kind of keep going until, I like to do focus like you keep going until it kind of overcorrects almost, and then you can sort of say, oh, okay, that's the sweet spot right there. Yay. And then if you just wanna, I think that's pretty good for setting the controls, but if you want it to be perfectly centered, you could use the inching knobs a little more to center it, but it's a good size, it's capturing the whole frame, so.
Yeah, you can also use the silver knob there
Mhm.
and that, yeah, so that you can adjust.
Oh, that's weird, we don't see the purse though, so that'll be problematic. Maybe I should move this back, right?
You can take one of the lens extenders off too. So we have these lens extenders. This is helpful. Right now it's fully extended, which is helpful for the Super 8mm gauge. I'm gonna put the lens cap on first, but I'm just gonna remove one of these lens extenders.
So the reason why you need the purse and frame is because we're going to use that for the next part of the software, which is stabilizing the image. So to provide an overview of what we're going to do, we're going to use the parallel lines on the purse as a reference point to tell the software how to correct the bumpiness, basically.
I think it's also, do you want to bring down that cyan that you brought up? That's good right there. So I'm just using the knob down here to get, yeah. So right now, you can see these are the perfs, but we have it so bright and the perfs are see-through on here that they're hard to see, which we can adjust in a minute. And you can zoom in and out using that. So that helps with focus. The thing to keep in mind when focusing is you're not necessarily focusing on the image of the film, you're focusing on the grain of the film, because sometimes the image is slightly out of focus. That's not the most helpful thing to look at, but you want to look, actually you can keep going in a little bit more, but you see how there's the grain of the film itself in Blade. If you want to maybe adjust it a little,
Adjust it a little.
Sort of look at that, but that is something to keep in mind when focusing.
That looks pretty.
If you try and focus on the film itself, not the image within the film.
Right, exactly.
So cool. So you can use that track ball and zoom back out again.
And we should probably, do you think we should bring the cyan down a little bit so the purse are more visible?
Yeah. So what you're looking at when you're adjusting the color is that this screen here. So this is the waveform. So it's essentially or this one down here.
Yeah, that's
This
the
is the input, right? And then this is the
Yeah.
output.
So this is,
So-
yeah.
Yeah, so this is the image that you're outputting.
Mhm.
So basically this is like, imagine on a scale of 0 to 100, these are your blacks, your darks, these are your lights, your whites.
Leilani, if you could bring the mouse over to this screen here. Yep, and then basically what you're looking to do is to highlight a portion of the perfs that includes only these parallel lines and not the rounded edges. Because you want the straight lines for the reference. That's just the best practice of how to get the most stable film. So, I'm gonna have you press Control. And then if you wanna click maybe right about there and highlight the parallel lines but not the rounded edges. That's good, yep. Maybe try again, Control.
This is another thing, yeah. So this has happened before, we can't figure out why, where it's offset. So if you want to bring the mouse to the right a little bit, a little further, yeah, like there, and then do it again. I don't know why it's doing that,
That's
but
silly.
sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Perfect. Get it?
But yeah, so you want to highlight a portion of the perfs.
Okay, cool. And now you can press, we didn't press set reference region yet. Okay, so you're gonna bring your mouse over back to the Kinetta software, press set reference region. Okay, great. Does that look okay to you?
It's a little, let's see how it looks. But yeah, it's a
Okay.
little dim.
It's kind of dim.
But that red area, basically what it's showing you is the stronger the contrast between the black and red is, the better the stabilization is. So that's not super strong. That's because the perf is clear, so there's not that much of a contrast between the film and like the gate, the light itself.
Mhm.
So that's why it's dim. But let's see how it looks, and then we can adjust as needed.
Okay,
But
awesome.
so you can hit stabilize off, right?
Yep, stabilize on.
And then if
And
you
then preview, you want to turn off. So we're gonna go back to the preview bottom left. Yep. Great. And another thing you can do, which I find really helpful as you're scanning, is to use one of the overlays, and they're called zebras. So zebras will show you what is being blown out, essentially.
Mhm.
So Leilani, if you want to go to overlays and then press zebras. So we don't see it right now because we actually adjusted our light levels really well, but if you see a checkerboard pattern, black and white checkerboarding at all during the film, you can note that and go back over to the cyan and pull it down with the wheel of the mouse. And the reason you want to do that instead of like clicking and dragging it is so it's not like a super drastic change. So zebras are helpful to have on. And Leilani, maybe just to show people, can you bring up the cyan a little bit? So those are what the zebras look like, and you can bring it back down. But it's okay for this area to be blown out because it's
so
the light, it's the pure light source.
That's a good thing to note too, is that if you're getting the checkerboard outside of the image of the film, that is okay, because what we care about is the image of the film. So if you need to adjust the light in a way that that section with the checkerboard, if that's blown out, or if the purples are blown out, that's totally fine. But you do want to make sure that the image is not at all blown out.
So, we're gonna go to new movie at the top. And then, just so y'all know, we have a server where you can save your files and access them at any of these computers. And then you're gonna create a name for the file at the bottom.
And this would be like a descriptive name, so it would be something like the movie title, the gauge, the date you're scanning it, and your name. So things like that you would want to include. If you were working on like a project, you would want to have like a standardized naming process just to make it easier on yourself. But
A naming convention.
yeah. For now, do we just want to call it a test?
So, yeah. Okay, great. So we've set our recording destination. So, Leilani, if you want to hit start record. And now you can hit the green arrow.
And just to know as we go through, if at any point you need to stop, the stop sign. These like fast forward buttons, don't use those ever because it's not good for the film to go at a high speed, so that's what that does. So just be aware, don't hit those buttons. But if you do, hit stop sign. Cool, that looks good. That all looks good. Yeah.
And we can see the contrast between when it was jumping up and down before and now when it's actually stabilized.
Yeah, so just to go back. Turn it off. So that's what it looks like without the stabilization. So.
And stop it at the leader. So,
Yeah.
what I said earlier about leader at the beginning and the end, that is so that you can make sure the film doesn't fly off the machine. But so basically when you stop it at the leader, it's like, okay, now what? Close the software, and then you can use this black reel, you can spin it with your hand to wind the leader the rest of the way, so that you get it wrapped at the end.
So if you just keep pressing play, then it'll like.
Yeah, and it will like stop itself once it totally loses tension, it like stops. But it does cause for a second it goes very fast, and it does like whiplash sort of the
It's
film, which is
stressful,
not good for the film, nor is it good for the machine to have it
Yeah.
flapping around. Yeah, I think that's it. The only thing you would do at the end, say you wind it all the way through, you can just take it back to the rewinds. And because it's going to be tails out, the end of the film is going to be on top.
Yeah.
So you can just, before you like put it back in its can, just rewind it so it's heads out again, and put it back